So imagine being a seller sitting down and they're like, well, what do you do? I'm like, well, I can help you list and sell. Anything else? You're like, nope, that's it. And Jose's like, well, I can help you list it and sell it. I can give you a cash offer today. We could do creative financing. Oh, by the way, if you need it to be staged, we got that. Who gets the business? And it's not an ego thing. It's not like, rah, I'm so good. He's just adding more what? And whoever adds more value wins. Period.
And it's about having different ways of like being able to monetize the lead. Like, so for a wholesaler.
Are you holding like pistols just then?
Yeah,
Is that what you did?
yeah. Well, it's like,
dang, bro, that Mexican sombrero came out. He's like, what?
I think it's like having different tools for different situations. You know, if I'm going to a seller and I'm like, hey, I could only help you sell it versus, hey, if you want a cash offer, I can help you with the cash offer. You want to do something creatively, we can help you with that. You want to do something where I list it for you, we can help you with that. It's about being the solution to whatever their problem is, basically. Not only that, but like even Open Door, they have an agent program where if you create an opportunity for them, they'll pay you 1%
right,
as
so
well too.
A question to ask is they're like, well, I'm talking Open Door. Well, may I ask you a question? Would that be okay? Yeah. Did they already formally make you an offer? No, I haven't actually reached out to them, but my intention is to do that. Well, with that knowledge, you can do what Jose just said, submit it, and you can have the conversation with the seller, but submit it. Open Door will pay you 1%. And they'll give it back to you when they sell it.
No, I don't know about that one.
They used to. But like, I don't think so. What I'm aware of is, do you see, but if I don't know the option, what would you do? Just move right past. Because what Jose was saying is if my mind is blind to the possibility, my eyes will be blind to the opportunity. There will literally be something directly in front of me. Jose will be able to create value and do a deal where other people can't even see that there's one there.
I think the agent of the future is just a lot more valuable and is a lot more skilled and has a lot more different solutions to their problems, basically. And I think the agents that are going to struggle are the agents that are like, this is the way I've always done business. I'm not changing anything. This is the way it is. And the agents that succeed are the ones that are like, okay, what do I have to do differently to be able to make that happen, basically?
I agree. 100%.
Yeah. So what Aaron is saying about the cash offers, it's not necessarily saying that the cash offer is going to work out. It's a lead magnet, meaning like it's a way of marketing it. So like when we're like Angel's calling, like if you're telling them, hey, I'm going to list your property, or if you're saying, hey, we work for, we have a cash offer program. Would you be interested in a cash offer? Is just to generate a lead, basically. So even when you're calling, your response rate is going to go up because the offer is more attractive than, hey, I can help you list the property. And now you're differentiating it. I have a moving truck that I basically says, we buy houses, like a big yellow banner. I have a dump truck that says we buy houses.
It's got pajamas that say we buy houses. Like he's just like,
no. So the best return, and this is just to be fully transparent with you guys, the best return on the money is not the moving truck or the dump truck. The best return is the PPL, the pay per lead, because those are people who are going on Google saying, I want a cash offer. And a lot of times the cash offer doesn't work out. Very rarely will it, but most of the time it turns into a listing and then we just sign them up. So what's going to happen a lot of times is you're going to ask them how much they want for the property and they're going to tell you a retail price. Right. And when they tell you the retail price, it's just going to be about learning how to have that conversation, how you transition it from a cash offer presentation to a listing presentation. And we can help you with that. Like I'm doing that all the time now.
We did a YouTube video specifically on that conversation.
Yeah, because I mean, some sellers don't want anybody walking
No.
And no matter what you say, they're just like, no.
Not only that, I remember being in front of a seller and I'm sitting there and he's like, look, Jose, I like you. I want to work with you, but I've got 3 cash offers right here. If you don't make me a cash offer, I'm going to work with one of these 3 people. I do not want to list the property. And at that time, I was like, okay, let me make you a cash offer. It was lower than the other offers that he had on the table, but I told him, I can guarantee you that I'll close. Not only that, he trusted me because of just the conversations that we have had. He went with my offer. We flipped it as well too. But then what I learned recently is as a cash offer lead magnet, I lost business to different people like Open Door, or I lost business in different situations. So whenever you go to a investor seminar, they talk about what is your acquisition strategy? And then what is your exit strategy as well too, or your disposition strategy? As realtors, if we generate a cash offer lead, most of us have one exit strategy on that, which is to list that property. As investors have multiple exit strategies for that same motivated seller. So the more exit strategies that you have, the more you're able to monetize the people that are raising their hand.
The actual opportunity.
So my exit strategies are, one, if I can buy it and they offer it to me at a great price, I'll buy it. Now, if I don't want to buy it, another exit strategy is I can wholesale it to somebody else. That's a different exit strategy. I just wholesaled another property, $75,000. I never put any money out of pocket. It was like the easiest and best transaction of my life. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been flipping properties and waiting 3 months to make $75,000 when I just made it with no risk. Then I got beat out by Open Door on a cash offer that I thought I had in the bag, and Open Door bought it for like $70,000 more than what I was willing to pay. You're going to prospect. Who are you going to prospect? Just listed, just sold, database, NODs, right? Who else? Expired, FISBOs, the ones that most people think about, right? And the problem is that us as realtors, we've been programmed to think absentee owners, just listed, just sold, expired, and for sale by owners.
And the problem with that is that those are red oceans.
They're highly competitive.
There's lots of blood in the water and there's lots of sharks in the water. And highly competitive. Now, we're great whites. We could push in there and get our unfair share. I would much rather prefer to swim in a blue ocean because it's easier.
So those in that front document that you guys had, I basically put, okay, how do realtors think? And then how do wholesalers think? So I would pick one of those niches. I chose the probate niche because I was like, look, it's market resistant. Guess what? If interest rates are 3% and somebody dies, will they be selling the property?
Yeah. Statistically, 65% of those homes are free and clear. And the motivation, if they do want to sell, is through the roof. And do you see how none of this would be happening if he wasn't doing all the stuff we're talking about? He wouldn't even have the opportunities. Because you're just dealing with people that like, well, we're moving to like California. You know what I mean? Like one place to the next.
So look, on here are the receipts on that one. That was the seller's name. You can look up the address. The address is right there, 401 Rancho. And she responded back to one of the text messages.
You put the text message?
I put I wanted you guys to, I wanted you guys to see that I didn't come over here to like tell you guys something that was working 10 years ago or 15 or 20 years ago. We genuinely wanted to come out here and be able to like help you guys make your business better because that helps out everybody. So I added the receipts, address, I want a cash offer. And then she basically gave me some details. I called her. You can look up the tax records and everything like that. That property basically double closed on it. Then I added a pay per lead provider. So I added the pay per lead providers. Then I added examples of 2 properties at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It tells you how much I paid per lead. And then you can look up those addresses and see me as the listing agent on those properties. So this is all like 100% verifiable right there. And, oh, I even added the screenshot so you see me as a listing agent.
Well, here's what's interesting. What do you think gets in the way of doing the pay per lead stuff? Yes, which is really a mindset thing. Because what's wild to me is we are willing to give up 35% for a lead. How do we justify giving $5,000 for a lead? How do we do that in our minds? You say, oh, well, I made, right? I'm making 10 grand.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had it anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had it anyway, so it's fine. Guys, you realize how ridiculous it is to pay $5,000 for a lead? Where he spent 1, 2, 3, 4, he spent $1,600 and made $60,000.
2,000, Aaron. Your math.
My bad, 2,000. Yeah.
But it's 2 listings on $2,000 of ad spend right there. Not only that, but it's a seller, not a buyer. So the receipts are right there. The listing is right there with my name on it. You can verify it on the MLS. Here's the other property with my name on it. And then the other thing that we put is better dialers. What do realtors think when they think dialers? Mojo, right? We've been programmed, guys. We've been going to the same conferences over and over.
And then you know what we accept? 6 contacts an hour.
Yeah. And then I put, what do wholesalers? Angel introduced me to like ZenCall and other dialers, and then he created his own, which is Enzo Dialer right there. That's the way that, so time out. This is who we're competing against. We're competing against people that don't think like realtors. We're competing against people that are willing to invest time, money, and energy to find motivated sellers.
To beat us to the opportunity.
But guess what? Us as real estate agents, we provide more options and more solutions. So if we start educating ourselves on these things, we could actually take some of that market share instead of them and build wealth for our families as well too. Better phone numbers as well too, right? So like, okay, whenever it comes time to skip trace, if you see a house that is burned right here, what could you guys do to get in contact with that owner? Title, what else? True people, right? What else? LexisNexis.
Forewarn, LexisNexis, yeah.
Right. All right. I basically did this. So if you want large numbers of data, your boy Angel right here can get you the most accurate data. He can get you guys Social security numbers. That's how accurate the data
He hesitated.
I was like trying to think about the right word, but think about it. Okay. You see you want mass data, like hundreds of it. He can get you the best data ever. But
Hold on, guys. We have some people here who need Social Security.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
It's true. It's coming up, team.
You told them about me? Come on, dude. I'm kidding. All right. But like I found out about this thing through Angel. It's called Forewarn.
Yeah.
If you only need one phone number, it's $20 a month. And it's the best way to get one phone number that I've ever used in my life.
Do you know what they actually tell you when you sign up? They tell you, do not look up any celebrities. If we see that you do that, we will kick you off the platform.
So
that's how accurate that information is.
So this is how realtors think. Okay, I just asked you see a property that has burn damage? You're like, oh, can I pull it up on title? And then can I use True People Search, which the accuracy on True People Search is very inaccurate or not as high quality. Instead, you see a property like this, so you got to stop thinking like a real estate. I see a property like this. This is a property that we're in negotiations right now. Don't worry, I didn't put the address anywhere.
Let's go.
We're in negotiations right now on this property where he wants to sell it to us at $400,000 because it has fire damage. There's this concept called driving for dollars. Okay, you ever see a garage sale? You ever see an estate sale? You ever see a burned house? You ever see a house with deferred maintenance? You ever see a house with a pod in front of it? These are all moving signals. So whenever we see that, what do? Okay, what if they're not home or it's an absentee? What if it's like a firehouse and nobody lives there? What do? Besides True People Search.
You
skip trace them, right?
So if you have, and the point that Jose is making is better tools equal better outcomes.
Yeah. So
period.
Even with the paper leads, sometimes they'll input wrong phone numbers on there, or even with like home light leads, they'll input wrong phone numbers. This tool, Forewarn, I'm able to get a hold of people that other people aren't because I had the right tool to get the right phone number. So next time you're driving by a burnt house or a house with an estate sale where the owners aren't there, or somebody says, my uncle, or here, let me give you another example. Somebody walks into your open house, right? And how often do they give you a wrong phone number? A lot of times. But guess what? Forewarn, you can actually look at people by name. So if I'm like, hey, excuse me, what was your name?
Dulce.
And what's your last name?
Vasquez.
Pleasure to meet you. How often do they give you a fake name? No. What if I told you with the real name, not even a property address, you can look up the right phone number for them. So what if you do open houses and you're like, okay, right now I get 10 leads per open house and 5 of them have the wrong phone numbers and I'm never able to get a hold of them. What if now from now on, you ask for the phone number, but then you always ask for their first and last name? What if somebody has a referral for you? Like somebody says, hey, I have a referral for you. Great. Would you be able to put me in contact with them? Oh, let me check. How often do we get? Let me check with them to see if I can do it. What I do instead is I'll be like, okay, would you be able to put me in contact with them? Oh, let me check with them to see if I can do it. Okay. Just out of curiosity, what's their first name? Well, it's like, oh, it's Dulce. Okay, good. And do they have the same last name as you? Is it Vasquez? Oh, no. It's Smith. Okay, so Dulce Smith.
So
I'm just like, boom. I had their phone number.
Thank you very much.
And now I have the right tool. I had this guy that was like, oh yeah, my daughter's going to be selling my property. I'm in assisted living. I'm like, could you put me in contact with them? Like, oh yeah, let me get back to you. Followed up with them. Nothing. I'm like, hey, what's your daughter's name? Peggy Sue. I'm like, what's her last name? Does she have the same last name as you? He's like, no. Her last name is Smith or something like that. I'm like, okay, good. Now I have everything I need to be able to get in contact with that individual because I have the right tool. So I think for us, the agent of the future is getting acclimated with the right strategy, the right tools, the right systems, and the right mental maps. If we're able to do that, it's going to increase our chances of succeeding. If we're not able to do that, We're going to be having conversations. Do you remember back in the day when I used to make like 300,000 back in the day?
Yeah. You're gonna be like, gather round, children. There was a time where I could sell one house and
Even-
make $40,000.
even
And the
out-
kids are gonna be like, oh, that was real. And you're gonna be like, yeah, that actually used to happen.
Even out here. So like realtors, right? Do all of us have an assistant? Why?
Same reason as the other.
Hold on. Why don't we have an assistant?
Brent had a question.
I have a question, just kind of going back on that.
Yeah.
Forewarn.
Yeah.
That's a paid service.
Paid service. And it's inexpensive.
$20
Can
a
I share
month.
something with you?
Yeah.
That's free.
Yeah.
It's fastpeoplesearch.com. It is also a single person lookup.
Yeah.
But it gives you multiple phone numbers and it shows.
I've tried
the different
multiple ones. This is by far the highest quality data.
Okay.
And so I've tried Mojo, I've tried Redx, I've tried True People Search, I've tried like
LexisNexis.
White
I
Pages,
tried
I've
that
tried
too.
LexisNexis. By far the accuracy level. I think that they're linked to the credit bureaus, to be quite honest, which is the same
Thing.
people that Angel
Enzo's.
uses to get the data.
I agree. It even pulls up all their property.
It pulls up criminal records as well.
Criminal
too, you know?
records, bro. I know who you voted for in the last, like, it's nuts.
It's crazy the amount of, and I tell you this because I am a serial student of like how to get a hold of people. And I've tried all the different ones to see like, okay, how can I get a hold of more people? And Forewarn for single people is by far, without a doubt, take it from a guy that's selling 80 listings a year, by far, no doubt in my mind that that's the right strategy.
It's the best.
100%. So what I was saying is about like, how many of us have assistants? Why don't we have assistants? Right?
Hey, did you notice the energy in the room was like, me?
Okay.
Why?
Okay. Do you think wholesalers have people that help them? Do you think wholesalers have dialers? Do you think wholesalers have assistants? My first assistant was through Upwork. It was a $4 assistant from Bangladesh.
$4 an hour.
$4 an hour. Mohammed. I still work with them, right? I still work with them. So here's another thing like, okay, not busy enough. Okay, how much is $4 an hour?
Yeah.
Times 40 hours a week in a month. My question to you is, are you worth more than $4 an hour? So
Otherwise, the work that they're doing, you're a high paid assistant.
So if you're focusing on tasks that are lower level, you're never going to be able to get your dollar per hour.
And more
up.
importantly, you won't be able to learn all this stuff.
Guess what?
Right?
Wholesalers have people making phone calls for them. Angel has people that dial for him for like $6 an hour.
160 of them or
$6
whatever
an
it is.
hour. There's no excuse, guys. So it's not, I don't have the money. It's, I haven't been exposed to that level of thinking as to what they're doing to be able to get better results. If we keep doing the same thing over and over, we're going to get the same exact results that we've been getting over and over.
So we're all heroes in our own story. Okay? All of us. And we're all looking for guides to help us to solve our problems. So in that instance, proximity is power. Okay? I've maybe had I think we're all one relationship away from changing our family tree for the rest of our life. I grew up paycheck to paycheck. My parents, we were on food stamps a couple times, had to live in other people's houses when we moved. And I've had 5 relationships and counting that have radically changed the course of my life. So the question is who do I have proximity to, or what guides do I have proximity to that can help me when that time gets freed up and it's like, hey, what do I do? So we were just having a conversation with agents that they are like, hey, I need to get out of going to taking pictures. Okay. Is anybody a professional photographer? So why are you there? Just to justify how much money you make, but you're not actually adding any value, right? I need to stop getting out of these lower level things, right? But what do you think's stopping them? And I need to hire an assistant to do some of this stuff for me. And they're producers. What do they do in volume?
I'm not sure, but they do
20 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they produce, right? What do you think's stopping them? The bottleneck to every business is the psychology of its owner. If they're not willing to hire people, it means they don't trust people. Let me ask you guys a question. How many super successful businesses have 0 employees? Yeah, he laughed out loud. None. And if I don't trust people, that means I don't have a system that I trust. Hey, you ready? Write this down. Memory is not a system. Memory is not a system. And if you don't have a system, guess who's the system? You. So their issue is trust and money. She's not willing to spend the money, the $1,500 a month to have an assistant.
The world is evolving, and we have to make a choice if we're going to evolve with it, adapt, or if we're going to basically stay behind on it. So I think we want to say thank you guys for obviously like allowing us to be here, kind of share with you guys whatever you guys need. Thanks to Angel, Joe, Pat, whatever you guys need, we're here. If you guys have any questions, we're here. We'll hang out, like however you guys want to make this next portion, we're free.
Showing us the guns today. There's no shirt, no suit today. Oh, baby, don't do it to him, Jose. Don't do it.